Hello, Mr. Senthil. Welcome to DC Conversations. Um, so first of all, let me tell you, when we go and watch movies and we keep wondering how somebody was able to capture the imagination exactly the way the director visualized it, right? And you have like redefined the visual language of Indian cinema with movies like Eega, Baahubali, RRR, and all that. Now, with your upcoming movies like Swayambhu and the India House, how are you approaching the visual storytelling differently? Because these are different kind of movies.
No, there is no set formula for what I can say visualizing a film. So each film, each story is unique in its own way. The approach for each film depends upon what the director wants and what is the thing that we are planning to tell in the story. So it is more about that rather than a visual style which I like and I want to impose on the film. It is never like that. So each film has to be approached in a unique way. So that purely depends upon two factors majorly. One is what the story is and how the director wants to tell the story. So it can be like in terms of scale, it can in terms of style, it can be in terms of how much stylization you want to do in the film. So there's so many factors which comes into it. So it is bottom line is every story and every film is unique and has to be told in a unique way.
But each of your films has pushed the boundaries of technology and scale. So what new challenges or innovations are you experimenting with in your upcoming projects?
See, technology is always changing. When you are involved in a film for almost in the field of anything for that matter, this is my probably 25 years being a cinematographer in this field. So there's so much of changes which has happened. So uh, so it is always adapt to whatever changes, whatever technological advancement are there for the betterment of whatever job you are doing. So as a cinematographer, there's been a tremendous change right from the way the camera was made to the kind of lights being used, and with so much of content being absorbed by the audience in so many different formats, like in phones, in OTT and all. So the way they approach and they watch cinema is changed. So we need to keep up with the times and present it in the best possible way where they are what they are used to, or push beyond that using whatever latest technological availability is there for you.
And also the lighting and framing, I mean, when it comes to your work in the movies are like, they're deeply tied to the emotion of the scene, right? So how do you translate a director's vision into such powerful visual metaphors?
See, first when I listen to the story, I try to understand what exactly is the essence that the story is by itself, and also what is that the director wants to tell in each frame. See, at the end of the day, as a cinematographer, I always feel that I am just helping the director tell his story. So how best I can help him tell the story is my contribution to the film. So it can be in terms of my craft or whatever, like you call it lighting, you call it camera angle, you call it lensing, you call it movement, you call it color. So many factors are in. So when you first try to understand what the director wants to tell, then things start falling clearly, and then we take it on a shot by shot basis. First, we have a broader idea of okay how you want to tell the story. Then slowly we break it down to scenes, and then from scenes to shot. So each shot uh, has to tell some kind of a story. So is it being conveyed properly or not? If uh, you can actually get what the director is trying to tell in that shot, if it is achieved, then your job is done. So that overall will define how the visual quality of the film is. So when it purely depends upon uh, how much you understand the director's vision. So the more you understand, the better, and the more you know about your craft, that is better. So the more you understand what the director wants, and the more you know about how the nuances of your craft, then you can actually contribute to a great extent to whatever project you are doing.
Your upcoming movies are very different from what the work you've done so far. I mean, like you said, each movie is different and each movie needs a different kind of approach. So in this, these particular aspects, like, I mean, if you're taking Swayambhu or a India House into consideration, are you exploring any new visual tones, perhaps something more grounded or stylized compared to your past epics?
See, like Swayambhu is a story which is like we took time. It's about stories about a village guy who wants to become a warrior kind of a thing. It's something on like set in medieval India, like set in probably 1,000 years back or like more than that back. So it's a story about a warrior where we did not want we don't want to stylize it to a great extent. So like it should be an aspirational kind of a thing. Like when people see it, should be like in awe of what what I can say the protagonist is thinking and what the protagonist is doing to achieve whatever he wants to do. I actually tried to give it a very not a Baahubali kind of a feel, but something very close to it, but a little in a more rooted kind of a manner, kind of a thing. The story happens two different regions, so like I am trying to give different kind of a tone to when the story happens at the two different places, kind of. So that's how it is. And when it comes to India House is more about the time when uh, freedom struggle was just budding. Like when we Indians understood that okay, like we have been ruled by the Britishers and we are also trying to get our voice. We want our freedom and all. So before that, it was all about okay, like few people here and there. But this was the time when the momentum was gathering. So like we were trying to like reason out. We are trying to like okay, like find out ways of how to achieve the freedom and all. So this majority of the film happens in London, India House. So like so there we are trying to give it as much as realistic tone as possible, but at the same time maintaining whatever like the aesthetics or the elements which we need for a commercial film to work. We don't want to get into the documentary mode of it. So we want to make it like a commercial film, but slightly on realistic side. So that's
So you
how,
said this, yeah.
project.
So you said this movie is being shot in London. Do you like to capture urban landscapes or rural landscapes?
Uh, Personally, rural landscapes are better, but when it comes to a film, it really doesn't matter whether what I like or I don't like. It really is like okay, like what best suits the film. So that's what
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah. So what's the process like when you start designing a film's visual identity? Do you begin with color palette, camera movement, lighting mode, or the emotional core of the story?
First and foremost is the emotional core of the story. So that you should not lose at any point of time. So then our process is like first we try to understand what the director wants and collect references of what he is thinking as much as possible. Then when I and my team try to get like okay, what is the director's perception of what he is looking at, then we try to chip in with our references and our contribution, telling that okay, like this is what you are thinking, this is what we are thinking, or I am thinking for that matter. Then like how do we find a mid ground of how to tell it? So once we reach that, then we start working on like okay, like breaking it down to each scene and like how the scene has to be told. Like be it then after the emotional tone comes the color palette. So first we fix the color palette of where we want to set it up. Then it after that we comes to like how do we want it to have dramatic camera movements? You want it to be subtle. You want it to be like so how do you want the audience to feel this film? Then it slowly comes down to how dramatization we want to do it in lighting. then it comes to lensing. So many factors but it also at the end of the day, this is all which happens in the planning stage. But at the end of the day, when we are on location, there's so many challenges which happen. So how do I uh, get after doing so much of homework and preparation, get everything right on location? Because once the actors come into play, they really bring in lots of energy to the sequence. So sequence or shot or scene or whatever. So, how do I, with all this preparation, incorporate this actor's emotion into the shot? So that's what is always like when I'm doing a shot, there is lots of checklist, which is that huge list, like what should be the aperture, what should be the what I can say lighting ratio, what should be the lens, what should be the focal distance, what should be the camera movement, what should be the is the color correct, is the ambience of the light suiting the mood which we are trying to do, to is the production design being conveyed properly what we are thinking. So there's lots of checklists which happens, but it's not a physical checklist, but it's mentally like everything gets ticked. And once, okay, everything I'm satisfied with, so we go for a shot.
You've spent like years shaping worlds that have become part of Indian cinematic history, right?
Okay.
So when you look back, what moments or visuals feel most personally satisfying to you? I mean, the ones when you look at them and then you feel that yes, this is why I love what I do.
See, more than looking back at it, I enjoy the process of making films. So, actually, I am very much God's grace, had a great career, but I'm also happy that I've really done something which Telugu cinema or Indian cinema can be proudly, we Indians can be proud of. So, because I have seen when I started my career, Telugu cinema was very much looked down upon. I studied in film school. So when they talk about Telugu cinema, they are like, yeah, what kind of films you make? They are extremely bold, acting wise, color wise. They are loud cinema and all. So from that time to now, the whole of the country is watching what Telugu cinema is doing and looking up to that. So
Yes.
it is. I feel very very proud to be a part of this journey and being an integral part of this change which has happened, the dynamics which have changed. So in that way, I'm actually rather than picking up shots and all, I would tell the whole journey itself is really dramatic, and I'm very very happy and proud and satisfied with whatever it is the journey has been.
One last question: what was the experience? What's the experience like working with a person like Rajamouli?
It's challenging. Because actually I worked with him for more than 20 years, and every film he has really lifted the boundaries of he has pushed the boundaries of Indian cinema, both in terms of storytelling, in terms of technology and other things. So working with him is like you have to live up to his expectations, and probably sometimes maybe you need to exceed him, because you can't rely on, okay, I have done this film to him, I know how it works. No, it doesn't work like that. So every new film, he has new challenges because he wants to push the boundary of Indian cinema. So you always have to be on your toes in terms of understanding the visual language, understanding what are the latest technology which is happening, and uh, it should actually be just not about understanding, but about how do we implement it. So you have to be constantly aware of what is happening in world cinema and how are we going to adapt this into our cinema, or are we going to create something new so that we can push the boundaries of our cinema. So it is always you're always charged working with him, and there is no resting when you're working with him.
So do you do a post-mortem of your work, like once you've done, and do you keep doing it like after, of course you do it, I guess, after you take each shot, but otherwise
Yes.
when you see it on the big screen after when the final product is out, do you make notes and say, okay, I should have done this the other way and probably this lighting
that always happens. That always happens. Even you take any of the film, Baahubali, Magadira, like RRR, or even my first film, Sai K or Sai anything, Arundhati for that matter. whenever I see, I always feel, "Arey, this could have been done better. This could have been done better." So actually, like I am never satisfied with what work I have done. So it's like, okay, rather probably I should have pushed here little here and there, or like added a little more light here, or reduced the light here. So it's always there. So whenever I see work, like so I feel I'm very what I can say, not satisfied. And when it came to like our Bahubali regrading, when we are releasing the epic, so I was really thrilled because I know like when we are doing Bahubali, the CG shots were coming very late for us, and the grade what I have done, the color scheme what you see on the film is not up to the satisfaction. So when I got a chance to regrade it this time, so I was really thrilled. Okay, like you never this kind of a thing never happens. So God's grace, I got a chance to recorrect my work, whatever little thing I can do in the post. So which I did it. So, and I am actually like getting what I can say, lots of appreciation for how the film is looking even after 10 years. It looks like it's a film which just made fresh, not an old film which was released 10 years back. So that happens. So yeah, as you asked, postmortem definitely happens, and that is what is keeping me going actually. Like so, like
Yeah, that's
always when I
that's
look at a shot,
that's
like
it.
I always when I look at a film, I always think how I could have bettered it. So probably like if I shoot the same film now, I will not shoot it the way I have done it. So I would have like because also like our knowledge improves, the technology improves. So like every time there is a lots of evolution which is happening in terms of not only cinema, in terms of life itself, kind of
Mm.
a thing. We become a little more matured and try to understand like what are the things which we can ignore and what are the things we have to push for, those kind of things.
Yeah. So talking about appreciation, what's the best compliment you've received?
I just can't pick up one or two, but like when I was growing up seeing films, I had few heroes whom I used to look up to, kind of a thing. Like there was one cinematographer called Ravi K. Chandran who did
Yeah.
films like Maria, Virasat, Black, and all. I always felt his work was great, and I looked up to him. So when he saw my films and he appreciated that, yeah, you have done really great work, and like. You are pushing the boundaries of Indian cinema, and like I'm really that you have done something which no one has done till now. So those kind of comments come when like so it really feels happy when your hero appreciates you, kind of a thing.
Amazing.
So
Amazing.
the other day not the other day, maybe a few years back, I met there's someone called Robert Richardson, a cinematographer who did lots of Quentin Tarantino's film. He happened to be in Hyderabad.
Mm.
So big fan of him. I met him like so when I met him, I told Sir I am Senthil, a cinematographer. So he told, yeah, I know you. I saw your work. I saw Bahubali. I really love it. It's a great work you have done. I revisit Bahubali a lots of times. So that's like, wow. Like legends of the world cinema are like appreciating your work is actually like
That's
something
truly satisfying.
yeah,
Yeah.
very satisfying kind of a thing.
Amazing. Lovely talking to you. Thank you so much for talking to us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a nice day. Bye.